Hello friends, welcome back to the Mothership. Today we are smoking up these absolutely beautiful looking chicken enchiladas. Let's get started. First things first, time to smoke some chicken, guys. I am going with chicken breast. And if you've watched this channel for any time, you know that I don't usually use chicken breast on the smoker. Reason being that chicken breast can be notoriously fickle. You can overcook it and then you're kind of screwed. So what we are going to do is we are going to smoke it. Like I said, we're going to be very careful about temperature. We are going to pull it at about 155, which I know some of you guys think, oh, you shouldn't pull chicken at 155. You should pull it at the prescribed 165. Well, two things. One, temperature on chicken is a factor of temp and time. And so the time that we're going to be on there, it will be just fine. But also, because of the way we're going to be cooking these are going to go into our mixture and they're going to keep cooking in the enchiladas, so I'm not exactly worried about it. They'll be just fine. But what we want to do before any of this, what I did last night, I took this chicken out and I tossed it into a wet brine, which means that I put it into a bowl of water with a ratio of 1 tablespoon of kosher salt to 1 cup of water. That way I know that these are going to be nice and salty and juicy and retain their moisture better than if I just tossed them on as is. I am going to dice this, which means I don't have to do too much trimming, but I'm going to pull that little piece off right now just because it's bothering me. Yeah, get rid of that. And since I'm here, may as well clean up a little bit too. I can go. Oh, I meant to get that. Otherwise, these look pretty good to me. Now, as far as temperature, I am running my smoker. It's actually come up to temp now at 250 degrees. This is what we're going to smoke them at. I am going to pull them, like I said, 150 to 155. But let's get them out onto the smoker, smoke them through. And while it's smoking, we'll make our enchilada sauce. I just tossed the chicken onto the smoker, so let's get together our dry ingredients for our enchilada sauce. We're going to start with 3 tablespoons of flour. Then let's get a tablespoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of kosher salt, and then I'm also going to hit it with some cinnamon. Perfect. Now the process to make this sauce is going to be difficult for me to show on here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some olive oil into this pan, and I'm going to get it nice and hot, then I'm going to add our dry ingredients and just let it sit there stirring until it gets a little bit of a darker red color. And then right at that point, I'm going to put our tomato paste in, keep stirring for a couple more seconds, and then I'm going to put our vegetable stock in. Vegetable stock is going to be 2 cups. For the tomato paste, I'm doing about 2 tablespoons, maybe 3 tablespoons. And then I'm just going to keep stirring it until everything kind of simmers and reduces for like 10 minutes. The idea is I just want to thicken up a bit. Then I'm going to pull it off. At that point, I'm going to hit it with a little bit of vinegar to give it a little bit of tart and test it for salt, and then that's done. Take it, put it aside, but that's the process to make this sauce. I'm going to do that right now, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like once I've taken it off. And boom, there we are. Definitely thicker. You can see it's got kind of a thick soup consistency. It's not super watery. That's what we're looking for. And it will thicken a little bit more as it cools. But this is the point where you want to test it, see if it needs more salt, pepper, something like that. So I'm going to give it a quick taste test right here. And I would say this needs more salt. So what I had done was a half a teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm going to add another half teaspoon in. Get that nice and mixed in. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. All right, I'm going to let this cool. And this is what we're going to use to assemble our enchiladas. Now, our chicken is not quite done yet. When it is done, we'll take it in, we'll dice it, and we'll put these suckers together. It is important though, guys. We are going to actually smoke these enchiladas, obviously. That's the whole point of the video. So we're not going to turn our smoker off once we are done smoking our chicken. We're going to take the chicken in, dice it, assemble everything together. We're going to keep that smoker on, and we're going to put it back on at the same temperature. So just leave it at 250 this entire way through. But right now, we are just waiting for our chicken to finish. Chicken is done, pulled it at 150 like I said. So now we're just going to dice it up real quick. Now, there's a video I want to do at some point about temperature and time. But I will link, as I've done in the past, I will link the information directly from the USDA, which indicates that you don't need to cook your chicken to 165. If it's sitting at a lower temperature for longer, perfectly fine. This is really hot. I'm burning my hands while trying to talk about this. But the idea is, guys, we're smoking, so we're going to be cooking for a long time at lower temperatures. And if your meat sits at a lower temperature for enough time, it's perfectly safe. It's the same level of safe as hitting it at 165 instantaneously. So, worth noting. Eventually I'll do a video. But like I said, even if you're a little concerned, you don't trust me, we are going to be cooking this in our enchiladas, so it's fine. But this is going to be nice and juicy chicken. Let's cut it into nice little dice cubes. Perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect, but that looks pretty good to me. Now what we want to do is saute up our onions, which I have nicely diced up here. And then right at the end of them being translucent, I'm going to toss in our green chilies. I know these canned ones are not ideal, but this is all I can find up here in New England. And then once those are nice and sauteed as well, I'm going to toss in our chicken, mix it all together, and then it'll be ready for us to move on with our next step. All right, everything is ready to go. So what we're going to do is assemble our little enchiladas. I'm going to start with a little bit of our enchilada sauce down the center here. Then I'm going to add a generous helping of our chicken, onions, and green chilies. Then top it off some cheese. And we're going to fold it over like so. Then we're going to take the seam side and put it down onto our tray. Now I sprayed down this dish with some olive oil just to make it non-stick. You don't want everything to just stick to it. That's just a little pro tip, otherwise everything kind of burns. But now we're just going to go through all of these one by one and fill them all up. All right, now with all of our enchiladas finished, this is the fun part. This is when you get to make a real mess, and we are just going to smother the top of these with our enchilada sauce. Get everything nice and goopy. And then we are just going to take a whole bunch of cheese and cover this sucker up. No one said this was a healthy meal, guys. All right, now this is going back onto our smoker, which is still running at 250 degrees, and we're going to run it until that cheese has got a nice, little bit of a dark color to it, meaning it's been cooked through. You know, what you would do for nachos. That's essentially what we're doing here. Onto the smoker we go, and we'll come back and see how we did. All right, now these ran on the smoker for 35, 40 minutes, something like that. Enough time to get everything nice and melted down. I'm sure they are absolutely ready to go. But the most important thing is, guys, how do they taste? So let's grab one of these out of here and see how we did. Oof. That enchilada sauce smells so good. I'm going to move this tray out of the way so we can just look at one of these suckers. Now you'll notice that I did not use any cilantro in here. That's because my wife doesn't actually like cilantro, but I do, so I'm going to add some on in the end here. If you guys like cilantro in your house, add it the entire time. That's the way to do it. And I'm also going to have some sour cream when we eat these suckers. But here we have one individual enchilada. Looks really good to me. Smells great. I'm sure it's going to be nice and smoky and delicious. Let's cut it open and see how we did. That is what I wanted. That is an enchilada, guys. That is a delicious enchilada, chicken enchilada. You can taste the smoke on there. Tons of cheese. The sauce is very, very good. That's exactly what I wanted. You know, doing enchiladas at home in your stove or your oven, not super difficult. There's a decent amount of prep work to it, but adding that smoker adds a certain amount of a kiss of smoke on there, which is definitely worth it. And if you've never done it before, I highly recommend it. I mean, your pellet smoker is basically an easy bake oven. You can set it and forget it and just get some smoke on anything you want to cook, and I do recommend it with this particular recipe. But I would love to hear from you guys, especially some of you guys down south of the border. What did I mess up here? What should I have done differently? Obviously, I am not from Mexico. I'm from the Northeast, so my ability to cook this type of food is probably not the absolute perfection, and I'd love to hear what you guys think I should do differently. But most importantly, get out there and cook something absolutely fantastic. Let me know what I'm doing wrong, and tell me what you're doing for your weekly cooks down below, and I'll catch you on the next UFO barbecue. Bye-bye. Oh, this looks good.